Hey there folks, welcome to this video, and here I'm going to be talking about the big news that Citroën has left the WRC with immediate effect. They're citing the fact that Sebastian Ogier isn't going to be at the team next season as the reason for it, which we take to mean that he's going to be signing for Toyota, announcement pending. Which means that the most likely rumour of him leaving for Toyota with Elfyn Evans joining him starts to ring true a bit more. But what I'm going to talk about in this video is the statement from Citroën, which cites Ogier, but also arguably could be seen to blame him, and also what it could mean for the driver market in regards to having the best part of 10 drivers now vying for what seems to be the 2 Ford seats. And let's start off by talking about this news. So it's that they're going to be leaving with immediate effect. No necessary plans to come back, and that's going to affect, well, all their rallying programs. So it seems like it could also affect WRC 2 and Mads Ostberg. But it also means that there are potentially a lot of people now at Citroën Racing without a job. Pierre Boudard, team principal, for example, and it seems like the decision was taken by PSA Peugeot Citroën, so the actual company itself, not the team. Which just seems even worse from my point of view. The fact of the matter is that a lot of them in PSA right now are under intense pressure, not to deliver results to WRC, but to just try and balance the books a little bit. Even though they're not necessarily reporting a loss, it seems like they're not really making much of a gain from the WRC. So Peugeot trying to go back into the WEC from their new hybrid systems coming in next season. Seems like the opportunity that PSA have taken to pull the plug on their WRC operations. And I feel sorry for so many people, starting off with all the people at Citroën Racing who now seem like they're without a job. People like Pierre Boudard, for example, team principal, who it was almost a dream come true for him to run the team. He'd been working with them pretty much his whole career. And when Yves Baton went off to work for the FIA, him getting promoted, it seemed like it was a fairy tale thing. But even from then, I was cynical. I was thinking Citroën are doing this because they want to be able to be ready to up at a moment's notice. There were rumours they were going to leave in 2017. In 2018, they sacked Chris Meek, and for 2019, they brought in Ogier, and they're leaving at the end of the season because they can't find a first-class driver. Which is nonsense. Because, like I've said, we're now at a point where, taking into account the idea that Evans and Ogier are going to be a Toyota, let's think about who Ford could potentially sign. Lappi, Meek, Latvala, Mikkelsen, Breen. And those are just the people who were in the top flight in the other 3 teams. You've got Citroën, you've got Ostberg, you've got Tiedemann, you've got Padden. Potentially someone in the wings like Eric Camely. That's 10 drivers. 10 drivers potentially going into 2, maybe 3 seats. It's not that there's a lack of a first-class driver. There's nothing like that in the WRC. In fact, there's a surplus, if anything. It's that they decided they wanted to be out and they wanted to play a kind of blame game. And I believe that's the case. David Evans, the Autosport writer, believes that's the case. Colin Clark made some speculation about it. But I honestly believe that it's the case that they are blaming Ogier for it, because the heads of PSA wanted out. And they didn't want to say they wanted out. So they want to blame somebody else for it. And it's a shame. And it's a massive shame, like I said, for all the people at Citroën Racing who are now facing unemployment. And I hope they find jobs somewhere. If not with PSA operations, then somewhere in WRC Service Park, or just a job. Because it's horrible to have that happen, think about it in the logic of a month before Christmas. And I hope somebody picks up the Citroën operation, because I would have wanted to see what their 2020 Challenger with the upgraded aero and upgraded suspension would have looked like. But as we saw from VW going into 2017, it could be unlikely. And that's, I think, the biggest shame of all. fact that all of this work, all of this effort has gone into it, and it seems like the corporate entity made a decision to pull the plug. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you want to stick around and see more content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching.